Y'all remember when the future of the NBA looked easy to predict? Zion Williamson was supposed to be the next unstoppable force. Ja Morant was supposed to be the face of the league. Anthony Davis was supposed to dominate an entire era. Julius Randle was supposed to prove he belonged among the game's elite stars, but somewhere along the way, things changed. Injuries, suspensions, playoff failures, bad decisions, and unmet expectations. Today, we're looking at 4 players who once looked like they were headed for superstardom and asking one simple question: what happened? Because talent was never the problem. The problem was everything that came after it. No player on this list entered the league with more hype than Zion Williamson, a human highlight reel, a marketing dream, a player many believed would dominate the NBA for the next decade. But instead of becoming the league's next superstar, his career became one of basketball's biggest question marks. This is what happened to Zion Williamson.
I think the window is...
The New Orleans Pelicans.
I think the window is closed.
He's been popular for a while.
I think the window is closed.
He's been popular for a while.
I think the window is closed.
He's been popular for a while.
I think the window is closed.
The New Orleans Pelicans seem to be going from bad to worse. Injuries to their star players, Zion Williamson and DeJounte Murray, have hurt their season, and now they have fired their executive vice president of...
When the next season started, Zion got even better. For 25 consecutive games, Williamson scored at least 20 points on 50% shooting, which was a new NBA record. And it seemed like he could score at will against any defender in the league. He was like a 5-ton wrecking ball slamming into opponents who just bounced off him, unable to stop his unique combination of size and agility. However, Zion was not just brute force. He also possessed elegance. And it was borderline crazy how someone so big could contort his body in the air so gracefully. If you looked closely at his layups, you'd see an aerial ballet dancer. A man who twists and bends his body to find gaps between defenders' hands to put the ball in the hoop. Even if he was guarded by 2 or 3 players, he was still able to make mid-air adjustments that nobody his size was ever able to do. In his second season, Zion made his first All-Star game, and for the season he averaged 27 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 3.7 assists, while shooting an unreal 61% from the field. Williamson ranked 8th in the league in scoring and 8th in field goal percentage in what was one of the most efficient seasons of all time. And then, just when things started going great, another disaster, as Williamson suffered a Jones fracture in his foot. Still, he was projected to be ready for the start of his 3rd season, but when the season began, his return was postponed for December. And then, when December came, the Pelicans said he'll need more time, and that he'll play around the All-Star game, but his return never happened, and Zion missed the entire 2022 season, having to watch from the bench as the Pelicans lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Just when it looked like Zion Williamson was finally hitting his stride, a lawsuit dropped that could change everything overnight. For Zion, this could be career-ending, but what's even more shocking is how the NBA world and other players are reacting to it. Let's break it all down. The lawsuit that changed everything. There's something almost brutal about the timing of all of this, because just weeks before that lawsuit hit the internet, Zion Williamson sat down for a rare one-on-one interview, his first in years, and he wasn't just talking, he was glowing. He was loose, he was open, he was a man who had finally found something he'd been chasing for 6 full years of professional basketball, and the numbers on the stat sheet backed every single thing he said.
There are 85 players in NBA history averaging 20 points a game for their career. Zion Williamson's 59% field goal percentage is the highest of any of them.
85 players. That is every high-volume scorer in the entire recorded history of the National Basketball Association. And Zion Williamson stood at the very top of all of them when it came to shooting efficiency. Not just currently, all time. The most efficient 20-point scorer the sport had ever produced.
Yeah, that means beating out monsters in the interior like Shaq, like Jokic, like Kareem. And how lucky are we?
How lucky are we? That's what the host said, and she meant every word. Because for those who had watched Zion Williamson's career from the very beginning, from the night he stood in a white suit in New Orleans and said, "Let's dance," the journey had been anything but a clean ride. It had been a story defined not by what he accomplished, but by what kept getting in the way. A broken right foot that cost him the entire 2021-22 season. Hamstrings, knees, back injuries, weight criticism on national television, commentators questioning whether he even cared at all, and through every missed game and every cruel headline and every hot take from every analyst who had long since written him off, Zion Williamson had quietly kept working until finally, for the first time in his professional...
No, I don't see it happening. I don't know how much longer he's going to be on the court. I mean, I think that the organization has bent over backwards to maintain some professionalism to the fact that this kid is not even on the court. He's not even working to be a professional basketball player. It's almost like when you watch him, you're seeing a kid sitting on a college bench and still hasn't found what's going to be fruitful for him in life, whether it's his diet, putting the right people around you, getting yourself ready, staying healthy. I don't know what to say about his career thus far, because all indication shows me that if there's a lockout, if there's any injuries major to him, it's going to take him out.
Zion, bro, you just signed that big ass contract, and now you about to. We know who this is. We know, gang. We told you to get in the gym, get that cardio in. This is not what we meant, gang. I know you was going crazy. Not on top of that, you wilding out for real. We know who this is. You mean to tell me PJ Washington didn't hit you up, bro? Not once. The problem is with y'all don't learn from the last mistakes. Like I said, fingers crossed for you, gang. That's all I can do. I'm going to go ahead and get the...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. This possibility right here, this terrifies me. Let me explain. So a lot of you guys might have missed this, but Zion Williamson is expected to be put on the trade block by the Pelicans this off season. Now you might be thinking, why is that breaking news? Zion has been hurt. He's been inconsistent.
But Zion wasn't the only future superstar whose career took an unexpected turn. Because while injuries were slowing one player down, another player was becoming one of the most exciting stars in basketball until his own decisions got in the way.
I mean, like, he done.
Yeah, if Tyrese come back sad next year, hypothetically, he gonna get a pass for it because of major injury. If John Morant comes out sad next year, they're gonna try to get him out of the NBA or make him a minimal player going forward.
Yeah, they're gonna try to climb.
He got to fight for his career.
Most pressure next year is on John Morant.
Bro.
I'm asking you as former Memphis Grizzlies, both of y'all, tell me one thing about Ja's game that he looked like he has worked on. I'm not telling you he can't play because he's naturally gifted. What I'm saying is it's the same I saw when you came in the league. You don't look like you have spent a second in the gym. These cats are coming. You see Darius Acuff in college. You see Fleming out of Houston in college. You see AJ DeBonza out of BRB. They coming to take your jobs. I'm looking at Ja and I'm like, yo, bro, you ain't gonna work on your game? You shot 23% from 3-point range. You got to do these things. Otherwise, you're going to be out the league. When they talked about putting him on the trading market, there were no takers. I'm telling you what I know. I ain't guessing. I'm asking you as former Memphis Grizzlies, both of y'all, tell me one thing about Ja's game that he looked like he has worked.
He's mentally gone, checked out. You can never reverse that. One thing that we do know, an athlete gives more f*** about his ego than anything. Once the guy that's loyal to you is betrayed by you, or he feels you betrayed him, you can never reverse that. People done wanted trade requests because they can't get their parking spot. Tell you to pass the ball to somebody you don't like. I want to be traded. We're going to just hopefully he gets better. No, that doesn't happen. No matter what that coach do, money can't save it. I want out. He's mentally gone, checked out.
How do the Ja-led Grizzlies look now?
They look like damn jokes.
Injuries and suspensions have caused Morant to miss 106 games since 2023.
It is disturbing to hear that a guy that won Rookie of the Year, all NBA player, all-star, a guy that was on the verge of being the face of the league, and a team can't trade you. Nobody wants you. Just imagine what he could be.
He's supposed to be top 3-point guard in the league right now. I was just overthinking a lot. I was, getting down, but I don't tell nobody, none of that stuff. Anytime somebody asks me like, are you okay? I always say, I'm good.
How do of the Ja-led Grizzlies.
How I think he did a rather decent job coming back from it. But that's
Ja changed. He started drinking and going to strip clubs, wearing gold chains and carrying guns, while his entourage caused trouble seemingly every week. Even his dad got into a fight during a game. To make matters worse, his on-court production has also suffered. Morant is currently averaging the lowest point total since his first 2 seasons in the NBA, with the worst shooting percentages of his career. And it's becoming clear that something needs to change.
Like, you need to find your motivation back, and something's got to change.
Ja changed. He started drinking.
That nigga excuse that nigga drinking. God.
When
Damn.
I say he has no value, I don't even think that's accurate. I think he's got what they call in the league negative value. And what that means is teams were not willing to take Ja Morant unless the Grizzlies also attach draft compensation. In other words, you have to pay us to take him. And I know that this is a stunning thing for the Ja Morant fans out there. It's a stunning thing when I talk to his fellow NBA players about it because they know how talented he is. The issue is just this: between the suspensions, the injuries, and the issues with the coaches, he has missed so many games. Secondly, he is at his best when he gets right there into that restricted area in that paint. He's never done it less. He's never taken more jump shots, and he's never been worse at those jump shots. So his play is bad, his off-court issues are bad, and he's got 2 years and $87 million left on his contract. If he had 1 year on his contract, I think there'd be some teams who would say, we're going to do a buy low here. The 2 years on his contract has literally made his situation toxic. The pathway forward for him is to play excellent basketball for the Grizzlies on the stretch, and then he should have some options. He has actually been playing better over the last month, but the actions of the rest of the league and their no interest in him demonstrate where his value is right now. When I say he has
How did Ja go from fine in the West to untradeable at the deadline? Well, we pulled up to his last game ever in Memphis, and by halftime, it finally made sense. Now, for starters, his government name is Demetrius Jamel Morant, and he actually didn't choose the name Ja. It was a childhood nickname that stuck. In college at Murray State, he became the first Division I player to ever average at least 20 points and 10 assists. That led the Grizzlies to drafting him second overall in 2019, and fans like me going to his first game ever in Memphis. Eventually, Ja won Rookie of the Year over Zion, and in 2022, he made the All-NBA team, won Most Improved Player, and signed a multi-million-dollar shoe deal with Nike. But then everything changed. On December 21st of that same year, Morant said this:
I'm fine in the West.
Since that moment, Memphis has posted a losing regular season record and won only 47% of those games. With it, fame brought pressure. Pressure led to mistakes, but still, the city never fully walked away. And honestly, that's exactly why we went to his final game. Because that night, he gave us everything you associate with Ja. Intoxicating highlights, a chip on the shoulder, and of course, an injury. This time, it happened when his elbow hit the backboard on a block.
Anthony Davis. At least your story was never about talent. But what happens when a player actually proves he's good enough to be the best in the world and still can't stay on the floor?
Trying to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year before he retires. Who's gonna tell him? Since we're on the subject of unrealistic goals, my goal is to go on a date with Dua Lipa. Anthony Davis really just said he's trying to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year before he retires. Who's gonna trying to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year before he retires? Who's gonna tell him? Since we're on the subject of unrealistic goals, my goal is to go on a date with Dua Lipa. Anthony Davis really just said he's trying to win an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year before he retires. Who's gonna...
Before I say what I gotta say,
I've never seen the knick-knack injuries to one player like this in my life. Can we figure out what that they put in Wolverine? Because at this point, that's the only thing that's going to keep him on the court, right?
what about some oven mitts? You give him some oven mitts?
Wait, where's Kyrie? Is Kyrie gonna come back?
Thank you. You just start asking for anybody else. Where's Kyrie?
Where's Kyrie?
Where's D'Lo?
Where the f*** is Nico?
That's what I was about to say. Bring Nico back. He was performing way better than AD.
Nico getting booed at medieval times amongst other locations throughout Dallas. All right, we watched that, right?
Okay.
We all sitting here like, We watch when he bumped his little knee, hit his little elbow. There was one play where he hit his wrist 3 times and then grabbed it all 3 times. I've never seen the knick-knack injuries to one player like this in my life.
Before I say what I gotta say, I am a fan of Anthony Davis. I am a fan of the Mavs. I'm a fan of Kyrie. I respect all of these players, just how they carry themselves. With all that being said, this shit is getting ridiculous. Bro, look, a simple baseline drive, and it results.
I thought it was weird that there was a lot of trade requests going around for Anthony Davis because he can't play even half a season anymore. But even
I saw Anthony Davis isn't happy that he went to Washington. Who freaking cares? Who freaking cares what you think, Anthony? Bro, nobody cares about your injury. Nobody freaking cares, dude. You don't play. You just keep getting hurt. You're not special anymore. I'm sorry. So yeah, you get banished to Washington now. Congratulations. You should have been more available for Dallas. Is it a bummer we didn't get to see AD, Cooper Flag, and Kyrie play? Yeah. You know what? If you want to see it happen, fire up NBA 2K. Okay? I don't care that he's upset about it. He deserves this. This is what he gets. He already cried his way out of New Orleans. Of course, he didn't want to get moved from LA, but this is his reality. This is the type of player that you are now. You should just be grateful you get the chance to play with Trae Young in Washington and Alex Sarr in Washington and play the 4 like you always want to. Yeah, you're gonna get what you want. And put the city on the map if you're that good. But I feel like you're going to be putting your butt in the seat, not playing for Washington. That's what I'm expecting. So I love it for Dallas. That's a cutthroat move that they needed to make. They secured even more draft capital. We'll see where those land. And if you're pulling those from Washington, great place to pull a first.
Can we get this nigga medical reports? Can we see what his bone anatomy is? Like, can we get his bone structure? How strong? Is this nigga drinking his milk? God damn, AD. Your ass the most expensive paper plate I've ever seen. Anthony Davis is expected to miss months with a ligament damage to his hand. Everybody under the sun with $100 million want Anthony Davis right now. This man got everybody calling him. Now, do they still want him? I don't know. Like I said, that's an expensive-ass paper plate. There's a chance he won't play past the deadline. So that means if a team pick him up, he ain't going to play in that jersey for a good minute still. So somebody really got to love Anthony Davis. Now, as far as the Mavs, this is why the Warriors is not playing Kuminga as much. They're not risking $280 million, and the Warriors not risking to be able to get something back for him. I'd be damned. Dallas is just stupid. They just stupid all around. You can't feel sorry for him at this point.
Now, that is the simple, easy way things can happen. But you already know this is the NBA where a lot of drama is being had, and there's already reports claiming that the Utah Jazz and the Washington Wizards are already having conversations about swapping their picks. The reason why there's going to be a lot of traction around this story is because AJ DeBontis out of BYU already has ties to Utah, and I do believe the Jazz front office, they've been scouting him from day one when he was in college. They clearly want him, and they're willing to move up in the draft by just one selection to go get him. They have draft capital to get it done, but more importantly, they have Lauri Markkanen if they want to move in a much younger direction, which I do believe they should at least consider. Markkanen is about 2 to 3 years older than Triple J. He's closer to 30 years of age, and so I do think it's going to get a little shaky on that timeline because I really don't think he fits alongside everyone else who's like 26 and younger. The other reason why this is very interesting is because of Anthony Davis and the conversations that are centered around his name right now. AD is already a little wishy-washy with the level of commitment to the Washington Wizards, especially because that's not the team that he wanted to get traded to. And if they do not give him the amount of money he's looking for, and more importantly, if they cannot fully commit to making a deep postseason run, then it seems as if like AD is going to demand a sign and trade somewhere else. And this is where, once more, if things don't really work out with Kawhi Leonard, here's where the Golden State Warriors can get a little desperate here, move Jimmy Butler out to Utah, acquire Anthony Davis from the Wizards, move Lauri Markkanen to the Washington Wizards, which is a sidebar. I actually do like the Lauri Markkanen fit offensively alongside Alex Sarr and AD. But more importantly, bro, if you're the Wizards and that's what's on the table, or at least that's the framework of what could happen, I'm taking it every day of the week because
I feel like every injury with him is life-threatening. Like, it's not like something where he gets hurt and it's, all right, I'm good. Like, he'll roll his ankle and it looks like he's done. But he'll actually come back and play and get busy, but it looks like he's dragging. He'll mess up his hand, but then after he messes his hand up, which is broken, by the way, he'll come back and get 30. I really don't know what to do with Anthony Davis in terms of injuries. I don't.
I saw a clip of AD on Twitter where he got hurt like 3 times on the same play.
He like twisted his ankle and something, then it got up. Then he got like bumped in the shoulder or something. He was like, ah. And then the person he was guarding got the ball. I think he like swiped at the ball, hurt his finger. And then I was like, oh my God. If you're an Anthony Davis hater, that's kind of how people see AD.
I feel like every injury with him is life-threatening.
Breaking. Anthony Davis was just spotted back in Los Angeles, and NBA fans are convinced the Lakers are secretly planning something huge behind closed doors. Sources claim AD arrived late at night and was seen near a private meeting involving people connected to the Lakers organization. No cameras, no official statement, just silence and chaos online. Within minutes, social media exploded with theories about a shocking reunion. Some fans believe LeBron personally reached out to Davis after the Lakers' disappointing playoff run.
Anthony Davis, it's time to retire. I might be sounding like I'm being harsh with this, but just look at the numbers. Ever since AD has entered the league, he has had over 300 career injuries and has injured over 51 different body parts. He's missed more time than he's been available, and I'm gonna be honest, you cannot build a franchise on a foundation made out of glass. Just this past week, he suffered a hand injury with torn ligaments. First they said surgery, and now they're saying he's gonna skip the surgery and be reevaluated in 6 weeks. And even if you thought that it couldn't get worse, Luka is a superstar in LA right now, and the Mavs traded him away for a guy that cannot stay on the floor. This whole experiment that the Mavericks took part in is a complete disaster. But I'm gonna tell you what the funniest part about all of this is. He has been in trade talks for the past couple weeks. If you're an organization that wants Anthony Davis, that might be the most wrong decision that you ever made. So
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie, Bambi Legs. I'm not even gonna lie, AD. I think I like what's about to happen, dog. Right? Hey, listen, I know them knees ain't, but look, I'm with you, boy. Listen, we got you, we got Trey, we got oh my God, we about to be back. Hey, congratulations, man. Hey, DC, y'all know what to do. You got to protect him and them knees, right? Anthony Davis is like Carl Anthony. It's just sometimes during the game, you just be like, come on, God damn. Right? Like, come on, man. This is what the bull now. Like, he can have 40 and 20. He fall down one time, you're like, oh my God. All numbers go out the way. You know what I mean? He just got a duck and one, just how you get hit in the eye.
I can only imagine how y'all feel as Lakers fan when he go down, he go sit grabbing something, he get hit. We be like, oh my. Yeah, you expect torn hamstring, like, oh, here you go.
Here you go. What happened? Oh, he caught a cramp.
Yeah,
here we go.
You comfortably say it happened about 25, 30 times in the past couple. Absolutely. We were just like, oh, no words, just.
Like even Draymond get that too.
Oh, sometimes.
Here it comes.
Crazy.
All right. You be like, yo, it's a 5-point game. Chill out.
No, the funny part is, all they be doing to Draymond is this.
Just don't touch me. Don't touch me.
It's never his fault. Like, come on, Draymond. We just watched. It was just a little tap. It goes.
One of the biggest NBA stars?
It goes.
One of the biggest NBA stars might go blind, even though Anthony Davis was hurt.
I'm not usually into conspiracies, but what's been going on with Anthony Davis is just a little too fishy. The Wizards just won the draft lottery. A lottery they had a 14% chance to win. And that continues a trend that's as unexplainable as anything we've ever seen in NBA history. And by the way, if you like elite sports content like this, make sure you're following. Anthony Davis was the #1 pick back in 2012 with the New Orleans Hornets. And after they became the Pelicans, Davis was traded from the Pelicans to the Lakers during the summer of 2019. And during that same summer, the team that traded Anthony Davis, the Pelicans, won the draft lottery and ended up with the #1 pick taking Zion Williamson. Okay, that's a weird coincidence. Now let's go to 2025, the next time Anthony Davis was traded, when he was dealt from the Lakers to the Mavs. And what happened during that draft lottery? The team that traded for Anthony Davis ended up with the #1 pick. So now that's twice the team that was involved in an Anthony Davis trade got the #1 pick that same summer. Now let's fast forward to this season, when again Anthony Davis was traded at the deadline. This time to the Wizards. And we all know what happened during this draft lottery. The Washington Wizards ended up with the #1 pick. So after Anthony Davis was picked #1 in 2012, in all 3 trades he was involved in since, either the team that traded him or acquired him got the #1 pick in the draft that same summer. So if I'm an NBA GM, I'm calling the Wizards first thing tomorrow morning.
Anthony Davis does not like sort of the way the Lakers moved him and treated him. I don't think it's that complicated. After they won the COVID title, Anthony Davis came to camp out of shape. LeBron wasn't overjoyed with that. He was looking to pass the baton to some degree, reduce minutes slightly to extend his career. By the way, Luka and Anthony Davis, throughout their career, they've been dogged by this reputation. Are they in great shape? Is it a coincidence Luka and AD are hurt a lot? You know who wasn't? Michael Jordan, LeBron James. It matters. AD had about a season to maybe a season and a third where he was in unbelievable shape for the Lakers. He played 76 games. Why aren't you in consistently good shape?
Why does 32-year-old Anthony Davis look completely different? First, AD underwent retinal detachment repair surgery during the 2025 offseason. Doctors required him to wear protective goggles for the rest of his career to prevent further injury. Additionally,
whatever happened to Anthony Davis, man? Y'all ever wonder what happened to Anthony Davis? Crazy what happened to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis became a champion despite the setbacks. Julius Randle's story is different. His biggest battle wasn't staying healthy. It was convincing people he could be trusted when the lights got brightest.
News guys, Julius.
Yeah.
Yet again, letting the cat out the bag.
What the man as you say, with the Wolves getting knocked out, OKC and San Antonio the last 2 seasons, what can you do to keep up with those guys? He said those guys play selfless. Those guys play like they're having fun playing for one another. So if I say, man, Shannon, those other podcasts are doing really, really well with the combo. What do you think you guys need to do in order to catch up? Well, I think we could, have fun when we're on air. I think, be a little less selfish. What do you think people are going to do from that?
Yeah, Joe the problem.
What? Damn. Damn. Damn.
Hey.
Yeah, Joe.
Hey, I couldn't think of nothing else to say, Joe.
Crazy.
Hey, Joe, you ain't want to pay my $500, Joe. You definitely the problem, Joe.
Julius Randle can't play for the Timberwolves until he's fully better at basketball. I knew someone right about this trade. You gonna trade Karl Anthony Towns with Julius Randle? Fuck no. When he playing at his best, he can give you 20 points a game, 10 rebounds. But when he playing at his worst, this the sorriest motherfucker in NBA history. You think I'm lying? This man started the season off shooting the worst field goal percentage since 1959. You know how ass you have to be worse than players from 59? Damn. I thought he was a rapper. All them tour dates he keep putting up. This is crazy. 4 for 10 ain't that bad. But nah, bro, this is nasty work. Listen, man, you turn the ball over. You take dumb ass shots. Just because you played on the team with Kobe don't mean you can shoot fades like him. You have a lot of moments where you're lazy on defense and scared to rebound. Don't even get me started on the playoffs. Everything I said you do wrong, you double that shit in the playoffs. Terrible. Timberwolves fans, how you feel?
And if you just look at the box score, I don't want to digress too much on Randle here, but if you just look at the box score, you'd assume Randle had a good game, 17 and 10, no turnovers. Julius Randle was not good in this game. He was a huge part of the problem. I thought for the most part, Anthony Edwards made the correct reads out of the double. But then him being stationary and that next read not being correct is what sunk the Wolves. There's no way that Ant should be doubled as much as he was and only get 2 assists. And I know a lot of times out of that situation, you're going to get a hockey assist because you're passing. Maybe you're not getting the ball to the nail immediately and it's going, to the perimeter on the other side of the floor. But he still should have had more than 2 assists in this game.
So the Knicks are back in the finals for the first time in 27 years, but let's not forget who started this movement of success, Julius Randle. For
NBA players who revived their careers after people thought they stunk.
Julius Randle's mom tormented.
Breaking news, Julius Randle is now at the center of a toxic NBA storm after rumors connected his poor playoff performance against the San Antonio Spurs to alleged gambling-related concerns. To be clear, there is no reliable confirmation that Randle is under an official NBA gambling investigation. But the speculation exploded because his performances against San Antonio have been heavily criticized. Reports noted that Randle struggled badly in key games, including a rough Game 2 where he admitted Minnesota didn't play smart, and a Game 5 blowout where fans blasted him for failing to look like a true second star next to Anthony Edwards. And now the internet is going nuclear. Some fans are calling his play passive, inconsistent, and impossible to defend. Others say dragging gambling into it without proof is reckless, dangerous, and unfair. But that has not stopped the debate. Timberwolves fans are furious because this was supposed to be the moment Randle proved he could help carry a contender. Instead, San Antonio exposed every weakness, slow decisions, forced shots, bad spacing, and disappearing impact when pressure got real. Now, one brutal question is taking over NBA social media. Is Julius Randle simply collapsing in the playoffs, or are fans turning bad basketball into a scandal without evidence?
Timberwolves coaches and teammates believe Julius Randle poor performances by the trade deadline.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have a Julius Randle problem, and Randle puts question marks on the Wolves' offense, defense, as well as their lineup versatility. He's probably their best passer this year and has been their consistent facilitator, which makes his need vital for the team, but also he has to be a high-level scorer, which at times isn't always there. His three ball is inconsistent, his mid-range game is solid, his rim scoring can be taken away based on lineup construction. A Gobert-Randle lineup essentially has two non-factor shooters, and teams just load up or shrink the floor against Randle, making it difficult for him to operate and make good reads. It also doesn't help that offensively off-ball wise, the Wolves aren't too clever in how they run actions.
Julius Randle is one of those players I've kept wanting to believe in. And that's why this playoff run feels more frustrating than anything. In Game 6, he gave them 3 points in a closeout game. And that's not just one bad night. The whole postseason, he was only at 16 points a game on 39% shooting. It felt like every big moment kept asking him the same question. Can you really be that guy when it matters? And that's what makes it suck. Because this story followed him in New York as well. With the Knicks, the regular season version of Julius always felt bigger than the playoff one. He averaged 17.1 points per game in the playoffs there. And everyone knew once spring came around, Julius was not going to be that same player. But right now, it feels like every postseason keeps taking a little more faith out of the people still trying to hold on.
The Julius Randle experience is back again. And nights like this remind everyone why that phrase even exists. Because Randle isn't a bad player. Let's be clear about that. He's had a real career all-star seasons, big scoring nights, plenty of moments where he's carried an offense. That part is real. But then a possession like this happens and suddenly everything stops. You're staring at the screen thinking, what exactly was that?
This trade probably changed everything for both of these teams. I remember when Julius Randle was on the Knicks had a hard time in the playoffs because aside from Jalen Brunson's great performances, you also had an inefficient Julius Randle. And in 2024 at the time, the Timberwolves made it all the way to the conference finals with Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, I don't understand why the Timberwolves didn't stay with Karl-Anthony Towns, but we all remember late 2024 when they both got traded, and now we're looking at a fantastic Knicks team who could go to the finals with Karl-Anthony Towns playing at his best, the best he's ever played in his career probably. And now you're looking at the Timberwolves who just got eliminated by the San Antonio Spurs with an inefficient Julius Randle scoring only 3 points in an elimination game.
And maybe that's what makes sports so fascinating. Talent gets all the attention, potential gets all the headlines. But talent alone doesn't guarantee greatness. For Zion, it was health. For Yah, it was decision-making. For Anthony Davis, it was availability. For Julius Randle, it was consistency. For different players, for different stories, one lesson. The NBA is full of stars, but becoming a legend takes a lot more than talent.